so let's do the eye look first. So this is what the package looks like. 48 color eyeshadow and brush set. So I'm really excited that there are brushes included. So it's a lot smaller than I realized. You know, hand for scale, it's quite small. It's very compact. Oh, it has a little mirror on top, which is awesome. Okay, let's just take it out of here. Like, it's so tightly packed in here, I'm worried that I'm gonna break it. Okay, so I don't know how to close this because it seems to have a magnetic like clasp, but then it doesn't actually stay closed. It just opens on its own. Oh, okay. I guess if you push it closed enough, then it actually stays closed. This is really great for traveling. Seems like a waste of space that they could have added an extra row of eyeshadows or even just made the mirror a little bit bigger. So this is what it looks like. We've got a nice array of lots of browns and neutrals, and then we have a couple pops of blues, greens, teals, one red, which is kind of cool. These are the two brushes that they include. Looks like we have a nice dense shader brush and then a flat, kind of fluffy packing brush. Oh, here we go. It says on here, blending eye brush and eyeshadow brush. So I honestly, I feel like a lot of the shades in here are really similar. I'm literally gonna make this look up as I go. I feel like I should have done eyebrows first. Oh well. So let's just start off with, this is so small, this one. Not a whole lot of pigmentation. I'm literally just building up color. I'm going to build up color slowly. Also, I'm trying to use as many shades in here as I possibly can. So next, I think I'm gonna go into that shade. Wait, no, there we go. This one. These eyeshadows are really powdery, I'm finding. Wow, my eczema is really flaring today. I want to try and use some of the like greens and like taupey colors. I'm gonna use, whoa boy. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this peachy color. Okay, where is the pigmentation in these eyeshadows? You literally cannot tell that I have 3 different shades of eyeshadow in my crease right now. Let's move into some of the deeper tones because maybe the lighter ones don't really do a whole lot, or maybe I should have used an eyeshadow primer. I'm not really sure. I'm also like, I can't really tell. Are these all supposed to be mattes? No, they're actually shimmers. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of mix these 2 shades. Can you even tell that I'm wearing eyeshadow? Also, there's so much fallout. Wow. Maybe just because I'm digging into the pan like really hard to try and get pigment, but there is quite a bit of fallout. Okay, maybe I'm gonna use this army green here. Maybe mix that. I think I might mix these 3 shades. Kind of build up like a green smoky eye if I can get literally any pigment. Okay, there's like the tiniest amount of pigment and it's very patchy, but that just might be my way that I'm applying it. Maybe if I stamp it on. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I feel like when I blend this out, it's just gonna disappear completely. So let's see, I'm gonna use the blending eye brush. Oh, I really like how densely packed it is. Okay, so the pigment didn't completely disappear, but a lot of it disappeared. I am going to mix this brownish reddish shade and this black and kind of try and do a little bit of like a neutral smoky eye. I really hope the black isn't the only one that's like super pigmented. Like I'm wiping my brush now and stuff comes off, but for some reason it doesn't really show up on my eyes. I think maybe I'll try and use some blues and greens like towards the outer half of my eyelid. So I think I'm gonna just mix these 2. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna mix all 4 of these like blues and greens here. So I think I'm gonna mix the greens together first, and then I'm gonna mix the teals and kind of just apply all of them there. Okay, these seem to build up actually nicely. You're not gonna get like a pop of color. It's kind of more like a hint. Okay, I mean, that looks all right. Let's try the teals. Okay, those are showing up. So now I'm gonna dip my finger into this one, this like greenish goldish color. Put that kind of on the outer half of my eye. Oh, that actually could be a nice color if it had more pigment. It's very pretty. You know what, I might just put that over my whole lid now that I think about it. I feel like that's like the only shade that I really love. So, okay, so I'm gonna take some of this shade and this shade and just kind of like put that in my crease. I feel like nothing is going in my crease. Like, I feel like that's not even working. There's a little bit of fallout happening on my face. Not too bad. That green really showed up nicely. I don't think I've dipped into this brown, so I'm gonna just run that kind of on the outer corners. I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get. Okay, so next we're gonna move into eyeliner. So I'm really excited about this. This is a liquid eyeliner, like with a brush tip rather than a felt tip. I've only used a brush tip on one eyeliner that I've ever owned. It's like this bright blue color, but I really like the sharpness that you can get with a brush tip, even though I prefer the control that you have with a felt tip because it's like a marker. I'm looking for like a really like rich black eyeliner that can give you that really sharp look, because I find sometimes with felt tips it can, I don't know, something about it, maybe just because you can't get as thin of a point, sometimes you'll kind of like move sideways and then you'll end up with a thicker line than you intended, which I guess can happen with this as well. But let's try this out because I've heard really good things and it cost me only like $5 or something. Maybe it's $10, can't remember. I'm gonna just shake it just in case because I've had this for a bit. Oh, okay, you can hear the liquid. This color is jet black, if anyone's interested. I don't know, I think they have this also in brown and they might have it in like gray or something. I don't think they have too many colors of this. So I'm just gonna take it out. So this is what the tip looks like. It's really thin. I'm really excited about this. And let's begin. I'm really nervous about this. Okay, the thing about eyeliner like this is I feel like you can really see when you make a mistake and when you don't have a super straight line. The thing that I like about the brush tip eyeliners is you can really get super close to your lash line. Okay, that was a bit of a longer wing than I intended. It's okay, let's just do the other eye. It's really hard to do this like not with your dominant hand, but like reaching across to your non-dominant side. Overall, I think that's pretty decent application. Really decent pigmentation actually. I'd say it's like, it doesn't dry super dark, like rich black. Only thing is it's like a really small bottle, I feel like. Like, if you take out the pen part, which takes up most of it, like, that's all you get. Like, it does sound like it's decently full. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, also it only costs like $5 to $10, so... Alright, let's move on. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna film the drugstore stuff and then come back and do my face. So we're gonna go into the e.l.f. contour set. So we got the contour palette, and then it comes with this e.l.f. contour brush. I actually used to have this brush maybe a couple years ago. I didn't wash it properly. It kind of started to smell like mildew, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be putting this on my face, but I did like this brush. The only thing is I wish it wasn't so densely packed, and I wish you could kind of like, because it's really good for applying contour, but then it's not great for like blending out. Oh, this comes with a really nice big mirror. I like that a lot. I never know how to use these. So I think we have highlight. I don't know what this is supposed to be for. This definitely isn't contour. Maybe it's like highlight under the eyes, and then maybe some places where you don't want such a dramatic highlight, or maybe this is like kind of like dramatic highlight, less dramatic highlight, bronzer, contour. I got the bottom part anyways. I think I'm gonna use this foundation brush and dip into this lighter highlight shade because I didn't like what's happening with my concealer. Oh, that's light. That's a really nice under eye highlight. I don't think it's, oh, it looks kind of shiny. But I wanted to use something else for like actual like cheekbone highlight. I can't tell if it's because my foundation is kind of a satin dewy finish that it's looking shiny and shimmery. Okay, it really is like a dramatic highlight. Because there's like, I can't tell if it's a little shiny, I'm gonna dip into the next shade and kind of try and like tone down some of the shininess. I feel like this kit, at least like the highlighting shades, I feel like it kind of suits like a very specific skin tone range. I feel like if you're like literally like darker than this, you cannot use the highlighting shades. This one's light medium. This is not for medium skin tones. Unless you want like a really dramatic highlight, I think this would be too light for medium skin tones, honestly, unless you're like literally like a light medium. I honestly, I never bought contour palettes because I never wanted these like highlighting shades. I'm like, I have literally like, I have my foundation, I have my like cheekbone highlight. Why do I need like under eye highlight? I just use concealer. This is actually really, really nice. I had been considering buying the Anastasia contour kit, but that has, I think, 6 shades rather than 4. I feel like that's too much unless you're like a pro makeup artist or you're doing a lot of like very intense stage makeup on yourself and you just like, you want to highlight and contour like all your little angles. I feel like for like regular day-to-day use, I think this is really good actually. I think I'm going to contour first and then use the bronzer to kind of like smoke that out. So I'm going to use this for the contour and then maybe a broader like fluffier brush to do the bronzer. So this is like the contour shade that I've been looking for forever, and I wish they sold this kind of shade in just like an individual pan. Okay, let's see how it applies first before I say anything about it. All right, I forgot that this brush is like really annoying to use because I feel like you need to kind of apply it with the side and then buff it out with the flat. I may have messed up my face. Okay, I am going to use this angled brush from Sigma. Okay, let's try this Morphe brush. It's not blending. And maybe I applied too much. It's really muddy looking. All right, let's try this brush. It's from Ion Beauty. It looks really ashy. Okay, so I think I just overdid it on this side, and this always happens. Okay, so I don't know if you can really see like how bad it is on camera. In person, it looks real bad. So I am going to use this fluffy brush because I've learned my lesson. Oh, that's very powdery. And I'm gonna dip into the bronzer shade and hopefully fix this mess. Okay, the bronzer is actually very nice. Okay, I've still got this like awkward, it's not even like contour, it's just gray. Some more setting spray, and I forgot to add blush. Okay, this is like such a mess, and I haven't added highlight yet. Oh boy, I'm all over the place. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, so now I'm gonna do highlighter. This comes with a highlighting brush, which I've never actually used this kind of fluffy brush before for highlight. I feel like that would apply too much. We got this highlighting powder, which is actually really, really pretty with a nice big mirror. And then we also have this mini liquid highlight. I want to try both of them, so I think I might do powder on one side, liquid on the other just to see, and then like just mix them together after. But just to show you what the different sides look like. Come on, setting spray. So I guess I'm just gonna like dip in. Okay, not that much comes on the brush, but we'll see how like bold it is. Oh, that is so pretty. It's like so glowy. Oh my god, it's like blinding, but in a more natural way. Oh, I love that. That is so pretty. Okay, let's try this liquid one, which is called, nope, that isn't. Does this even have a name? It just says Oliver Glow Set. So, this is the final look. Okay, so full rundown on everything. Let's start with the eyeshadow palette because that's where I began this whole journey. It's kind of shit. A lot of the lighter shades just like don't show up, which maybe that's a thing about lighter shades and maybe I should have worn an eye primer. I don't fucking know, but like they're all the same color and they don't show up. Some of the like darker taupey browns like kind of showed up. The blues and greens showed up fine. They layered okay. The shimmery green color was nice. I like that one. Like overall, and the black like showed up as like a light gray. There isn't pigment in these. Like I don't know what, whoa. I don't know what to say about this. Like it's kind of a bad palette and I really don't recommend you guys buy it. Like the colors don't show up. If you have a skin tone that's like darker than mine, it's definitely not going to show up on your skin. It's just like, it's a waste of money and it's a waste of my time. Like I'm really disappointed because I do actually normally like e.l.f. products, especially their brushes are normally good, but hold that thought because we're going to talk about those more later in the video. I really wanted to like this and I thought, you know, it's really good. It's really compact. It's great for traveling, but like, honestly, don't waste your time because you're going to look like really, like, unless you like very, very subtle makeup. So like it barely looks like you're wearing any makeup, but you like to put like a little something on. Then like, I guess spend your money on this. I don't actually know offhand how much this was. If I can find it, I'll put it somewhere. I like though that it did, what did I do with them? I do, however, really like the brushes that they included. I think these are really nice and I definitely would use these like for other, you know, makeup looks that I do. So that's a win. The palette, nope. So I would give the brushes like, you know, a solid 5 out of 5. Give the palette like a 2 out of 5 because honestly, like the only shades that worked were like these blues and greens, the black, and like pretty much the darker shades, but like no. And the size, actually, the size, I really like how compact it is, you know, kind of is like self-contained. It's good for traveling, but everything else was kind of shit. No, actually it was really shit. Alrighty, next, oh fuck. Okay, next we have the highlighting and contour palette. I really wanted to like this. I was really excited that I could find like a cheaper alternative to the Anastasia highlight and contour palette, which I really wish that they would just make like a contour palette because they have highlighting palettes. So why not make a contour palette? Anyways, that's a discussion for another day. You know what? Save your money and just buy the more expensive stuff because, okay, the top 2 shades were actually, I was surprised. I really like them. This gave like a really nice highlight. I feel like, oh, it actually does have a little bit of like glow. I wouldn't call it shimmer. So this would actually probably be nice as like a subtle cheek highlight. This is good for just like under eye or, you know, honestly like acting as powder if you're like a fairer skin tone. The bronzer I like, I guess it ran like a little bit warm, a little bit orange, but not too bad. And I really wanted to like the contour. Like I really wanted to like it. Like look at what's happening on my face right now. I tried so hard. I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Anyways, contour, like it's a mess. Now, okay, first of all, a couple things could have gone wrong / did go wrong. I used their contour brush that they included with this palette. I like this brush if the contour is like really not pigmented. This actually has a surprising amount of pigment, and then I found it really hard to blend out. That said, I'm not sure if it's the brush, the issue with the brush. I personally find it much easier for me to apply contour with this kind of like, I think it's supposed to be used for blush, this kind of like tapered fluffy brush, kind of similar to the one that they included for the highlight actually. But I prefer applying contour and bronzer with this because I feel like I have more control and I can kind of feather it out as I go along, because I am kind of heavy-handed when it comes to contour. I don't know what I'm doing, and I just feel like it looks closer to what it's supposed to be if I use a brush like this. So I don't really love the type of brush that they included, but I applied the stuff using the brush because I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it separated. Didn't like that. Now, that being said, I was trying out a new primer and a new foundation, which went underneath everything that was in this palette. So this palette might actually be okay, and it might have just been the combination of the primer and foundation that fucked up my face. So I'm willing to give this palette another chance. Right now, I'm going to give this a 3.75 out of 5. That's 75% of the shades were great. I really like them. It's just this one contour shade that is running really muddy and is also like skipping in places and like coming off. So I think that might have been an issue with the primer, but I'd love to reapply this with like a face full of products that I know how to work with and that I'm used to, and like I know exactly how they're going to perform, and come back to this and reevaluate it. So right now I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. Hopefully, maybe if I remember, I will not refilm, but like I'm going to add another segment using this palette, and we'll see if my opinion changes. Next, the e.l.f. eyeliner. So I was out all day in 32-degree weather. I was at a funeral, so I was like crying a bit, and I went grocery shopping. So I was like out all day, it was hot, I was crying, whatever. So that being said, my eyeliner, it hasn't chipped or anything. It's kept its intensity. It's not like, again, as I said when I applied it, it's not like a super rich black, but it's actually, it's not gray. I'd still call that black. And I quite like it. It was easy to apply. Yeah, not a whole lot I can say about it. I think I'd give that a 5 out of 5. I quite like it. Is it like the best, most amazing eyeliner I've ever used in my life? No, I guess. Like, I don't know. I can't say I've used like too many amazing, great eyeliners, especially like liquid felt tip ones. But I really like it a lot, especially for the price point. It's like $5 to $10, like you can't beat that, especially getting like the quality that you do. And that's the thing that I like about e.l.f. products normally, is that you get pretty good quality stuff for a really low and affordable price point. That is that. Okay, last thing I think is the highlighting kit. So we have the highlighting powder, and then we have the highlighting liquid, plus the brush that came along with it. I love the brush. I don't know if I would use this for highlight. It just seems very big. I guess maybe to like sort of buff it out. Honestly, I feel like I'd use this for blush more. I don't know. But I definitely would use this brush again. Like I really, really like it. Yeah, it says this is a highlighting brush. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the highlighters that I use are like really bold, bright ones. And I feel like if I do that, like I'm literally gonna look like the Tin Man. But I definitely would use this brush again. So I give the brush 5 out of 5. I'm gonna give this contour brush, like I've used it before, I'm gonna give it a 3.75 out of 5, because there's nothing like wrong with the brush itself. I just feel like application wise, it's kind of difficult to work with, and you can't really contour with just this. I feel like you need another brush to kind of like feather out the edges, kind of blend it a bit more. So unfortunately, yeah, it's not my favorite brush. Okay. Right, so back to these. So we have the highlighting powder and the highlighting liquid. So interestingly, after being out all day, the liquid side seemed to last better than the powder side. I did reapply it, but I just find that kind of interesting that it stayed. So I'm worried that this is the powder is something that you'll have to reapply throughout the day, or just like overdue in the morning or like whenever you're getting ready. Whereas the liquid seemed to stick better, and maybe that's just because like the liquid adhered to the liquid of my foundation, whereas the powder was sitting on top and it like moved. I don't know. Maybe it was something to do with the primer that I used. I'm not 100% sure. So I think I'd give the liquid, even though like I didn't like the consistency, I have to say I think I might give this a 5 out of 5 because it actually held up really well throughout the day. Whereas the powder, I think I'm gonna have to give it a 4 out of 5 because I liked everything about it, it just didn't seem to last. Could that be the primer? Could it be the foundation? Of course. Overall, I have to say I'm kind of disappointed, which is really upsetting because I was really looking forward to doing this video. I definitely need to revisit the contour set when I am not trying out a full face of new products. Yeah, I feel like a lot of my issues, aside from the eye palette, which was horrendous, the other two, like the highlight and the contour sets, I think would perform better with products that I kind of know how they behave. So jury's not out on those yet, but the eyeshadows, do not purchase those. Please, just save the money and just buy something better. So unfortunately, this video is kind of taking a little bit of a disappointing turn. I feel like I get that a lot with these product reviews, but whatever, I'm just kind of being honest. So if you enjoyed my review, please give this video a thumbs up, I guess. If you've tried any of these products, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Maybe it's just these products aren't working well with like the primer that I used on my face, or in the eyeshadows case, like maybe an eye primer would work. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to like really bold, bright like pigments rather than eyeshadows, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe this is meant for someone who prefers more neutrals and I'm really not a neutrals kind of person. I don't know. So like if you have used these products before, just let me know what you think. That would be great. I'm really curious to know what you think, especially the eyeshadow, because I thought it was fucking horrendous. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to know yours, and I'll see you guys in my next video.